Do men need to check their privilege? Gender activists tell us that men carry around with them an invisible knapsack of advantage. Well, is that true? And is it the whole story? Let's check the facts. Coming up next on The Factual Feminist. Now, if you are willing to cherry pick, stretch the truth a bit, suppress counter-evidence, you can easily make it seem like women are the have-nots in our society. You point to the wage gap, the glass ceiling. You focus on women's vulnerability to body shaming, sexual objectification, manspreading, street harassment, intimate partner violence, and before long, you will have constructed a full-scale patriarchy. And we have hundreds of women's groups who do just that. They specialize in persuading us that Venus is victimized and Mars is privileged. Well, here's the problem. Women's advocacy groups tend to exaggerate the plight of Venus and ignore the troubles of Mars. And as I've tried to show in earlier segments of this series, most of the standard feminist injustice statistics are exaggerated or just plain wrong. It's not true that women are being cheated out of 23% of their salaries, or that 1 in 5 will be victims of sexual assault. And it's also the case that in many critical domains, women are faring far better than men. Let's consider a few. Take education. There, it is women who are the privileged sex. At every level of education, from preschool to graduate school, and across ethnic and class lines, women get better grades, they win most of the honors and prizes, and they're far more likely to go to college. Today, women earn a majority of bachelor's degrees and advanced degrees. Our schools do a much better job educating women than men. Now look at the workplace. Women's groups focus a lot of attention on people at the pinnacle of achievement, CEOs of Fortune 500 corporations, or tenured physics professors at MIT, or U.S. senators. And they're right, there are too few women. But what happens when you consider the entire workforce? There may be a few women, but the lethal professions are largely a male preserve. And as my favorite dissident feminist, Camille Paglia, has noted, quote, "It is overwhelmingly men who do the dirty, dangerous work of building roads, pouring concrete, laying bricks, tarring roofs, hanging electric wires, excavating natural gas and sewage lines, cutting and clearing trees, and bulldozing." Well, is it any surprise that the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that every year about 5,000 Americans die in workplace accidents, 92% of them men? Now, we hear all about the Fortune 500 CEOs, but what about the unfortunate 4,600? Now, alongside male salaries, perhaps some mention should be made of male sacrifice. Now, whenever distressed gender warriors draw up lists of male advantages, they almost always mention men's freedom from fear of being attacked. Now, it's true that women are much more likely to be victims of rape and sexual assault, but men are more likely to be victims of violent crime as a whole. And consider campus crime. It's actually men who need safe spaces more than women, because according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, men are twice as likely to be victims of violent crime on campus. Look at the overall murder rate in our society. There were approximately 12,000 murder victims in 2013. 78% were men. And even on the internet, men face as much or more bullying than women. According to the Pew Research Center, more women than men are sexually harassed, but men are the primary targets of threats. And here are some more facts that challenge the male privilege mantra. Suicide, 78% male. Incarceration, 93% of federal inmates are male. And even when men and women commit the same crime and have similar criminal histories, men receive 63% longer prison sentences on average. Homelessness, it's estimated that about 60% of homeless individuals are male. Combat, 85% of active duty soldiers are men. And though there are many women serving in the armed services, fewer than 8% profess a desire to engage in combat. If you visit a veterans hospital or a rehabilitation center, male privilege is not the first idea that will come to your mind. And now for the mother of all gender gaps, life expectancy. Women's average life expectancy is nearly 5 years longer than men's. Men have to be the only oppressor class in history who are less educated, more victimized, and have shorter lives than those they oppress. They must be the only oppressor class who have claimed society's gritty, dangerous jobs as their exclusive preserve. Well, the factual feminist verdict: modern life is a complicated mix of burdens and benefits for each sex. Men and women enjoy distinctive advantages and face distinctive challenges. So if men have to check their privilege, then so do women. But why play this game? Why do so many activists want to promote gender resentment and divisiveness? Men and women are not two opposing teams competing for some trophy. We are in this together. Our fates are intimately connected. And as one wit has observed, nobody will ever win the battle of the sexes. Too much fraternizing with the enemy. Well, my advice: let's dispense with the bitter rhetoric about male privilege and get on with the fraternizing, or sororitizing, as I prefer to say. Well, do you think one sex is more privileged than the other, or do you agree that it's a complicated mix? Let me know in the comments section, and I invite you to subscribe to the series, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and remember, before you tell a man to check his privilege, check your facts. Thank you for watching The Factual Feminist.